Ellis about her time at USC and also what it's like to be a double degree cello and math major. And after you watch this video, go check out Ellis's day in the life, where she will show you what it's like to be her and to be a math and cello major at USC. Hello, Ellis. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Hi.
It's so much fun.
Pleasure.
All right, so we're going to start with the first question. What drew you to USC? Why did you decide to come here?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it took me a while to figure out that I wanted to be here. I applied to lots of different schools in many parts of the U.S., but I think especially with the pandemic, I was really excited to be close to home, to be close to my family. But beyond that, USC has wonderful academics. We're both a part of the Honors College, which is something that's really special. And then the School of Music, of course, and my wonderful cello professor, Claire Bryant, is just a gem. And Julia, you actually gave me this advice one time. She's like, you should study with the person you want to be. And I really feel like that's who I see myself wanting to be. So that's the other big reason.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Shout out to Claire Bryant.
She's wonderful. So another question, and this sort of ties in math with cello. Why math and cello? Why did you decide to pursue both of those things at once?
Yeah, so I went to Wade Hampton for high school in Greenville, and I had a really wonderful math teacher there named Coach Hunter, and I was really wishy-washy about what I want to study. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. And I loved math and calculus. He's like, Ellis, you can just study math. I was like, why would I ever do that? But a lot of things in the world operate on math. It's very creative. It's also very systematic. So it's like a process. And I think that creativity and the kind of methodical approach that I use in it is very similar to cello and yet also very different. So I just always enjoyed both and just wanted to see where it took me. So here we are.
I love that. And I'm sure you get this question a lot, but do you think there's a link between math and music?
You know, Julia, that question used to frustrate me because I was like, no, they're different. There's nothing like that in between. But I really think there is. And I think the one sharpens the other. And it doesn't have to be music and math. I think when you work towards two things at a high level, for you, violin and marketing, I think there's going to be intersection regardless of what it is. And I think that's the coolest part, is to show that a lot of the learning we do can be applied in other areas. And I think that's one of the best things about studying two things in college.
Definitely, yeah. Like I've noticed that when you're pursuing two very different types of topics of majors, that you're exercising multiple different parts of the brain, and that only strengthens the other parts, and it's all just beneficial all around, and there's always connections that you can make between things. So I think that that's really cool that you're pursuing both and you see a link between them.
Yeah.
Now, pursuing 2 degrees is very difficult, and I was wondering if you would tell us what challenges you faced so far in pursuing both of those majors.
Yeah, I think the hardest challenge, and this is not just for my situation, but anyone who's doing something with a lot of, like, taking something and spending a lot of their life doing it, is facing this, is time management.
Yeah.
Like, you just have so many tasks that are just being thrown your way, and if you're not on top of it and organized, there's something that you're going to miss, or there's going to be a deadline and it's going to sneak up on you. So I think that's the hardest thing, is just staying on top of everything, staying motivated, and just kind of putting the head down and moving forward.
Definitely, I totally agree with that. It's like, even if you're not doing 2 majors, time management's just so important.
And I think from middle school, high school, any point, time management is the hardest and most valuable skill to learn.
Absolutely. Okay, you've only been in college for a semester and a half so far, but I was wondering, what's the most valuable experience you've had at USC?
That's a great question. There's been a lot that we've done together. As you mentioned in your interview video, we did the educational engagement concert, which was super cool. Another thing that I really enjoyed is playing with my cello studio during an event that my professor, Claire Bryant, put on called Play Your Part, where we went and played as a cello choir in the center of campus and encouraged people to vote in the 2020 election. I even got interviewed by the local news. Like, that's just super cool and fun, and social engagement is really important to me, and I'm glad that USC has lots of, specifically the School of Music has lots of outlets to allow that passion to come through.
Definitely. That's such a cool thing that you got to do with your music that goes beyond just playing a typical performance.
In the studio, everybody's just amazing and wonderful, so it's a good bonding.
That's so great to hear.
Little cello family.
I love that. Next question. Who do you look up to the most and why?
That is so good and also so difficult. You know, I think I'm gonna have to say it. It has to be my mom. She's a leader, she's a listener, she does so much for Greenville, and her heart is just the biggest thing I've ever seen, and I love her with my whole heart. But I think if I can be half as compassionate and understanding as her, I'm doing something right.
She is truly a wonderful person.
So is your mom. Moms are great. You love moms.
Are great. Okay, and then my next big question is, what are your career and life goals? What do you want to do in the future?
Well, I'd like to graduate college, and I'd like to become employed. Those are the two main ones. But I'd really like to go into a field where there are not as many women right now. So women in STEM is something that's really important to me, and I'd like to go into a place where I can open doors for other people by myself being there. So I'm thinking about going into data analytics, which would use my math degree to kind of like process data and create predictions, things like that. And I'm excited about that, but really the main goal is to help uplift other women through, and just getting more people in the field, and then also continually playing cello, however that may look, whether it's orchestrally, having a studio, doing chamber music, something just to keep the creative juices flowing.
Yeah, I love that, and like the fact that you want to help push women towards STEM and really encourage them to pursue those types of areas that are mostly dominated by men, and the fact that you're doing that yourself is really admirable.
Thank you. I think it's women or even young girls are often discouraged to go into STEM, which is a terrible thing, and I really hope that all of the wonderful women watching, and men, that you are able to pursue whatever it is that you love, and to not feel any boundary or any doubt, and like you were saying in your video, have no doubt in yourself. You can do it, and you will do it if you set your mind to it.
Absolutely. Such great answers. I have a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You got to answer within a few words if you can.
Okay.
But no pressure. Okay. Most interesting class taken at USC?
Let's go with writing and editing for life, finding your voice.
Oh, that's so cool. Any other hobbies?
I've been really into yoga lately, you know that. And I just love being outside. I love hiking.
Yeah. Favorite dorm room item?
Stubby Steve. Let's insert a picture right here, Julia. Stubby Steve. Shout out to my man.
We love him. Okay. Most favorite classical piece?
Through and through, the second movement of the Ravel string quartet.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Okay. Now I have one final question. What advice would you give to your younger self?
I would say let go of judgment. People are always going to judge you for better or worse, but as you once told me, they don't pay your bills. And you really, like you were saying, you have to have self-confidence, self-love. you are worthy, you can do it, and whatever people think is really not your concern because it's your life, it's your decision, and whatever you do, wherever you end up, you can make it amazing and it'll be beneficial for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Such a great answer. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being my interviewee today. I've learned so many great things about you, Ellis.
Thank you. Thanks again for watching. We had so much fun doing this. Make sure to check out Julia's Day in the Life and her interview, and also be on the lookout for some new videos. We have a friend from Chicago and a friend who's in Boston, and you're going to get to see their life. So stay tuned. It's going to be great. Have an awesome day, you guys. Bye.